Welcome to the third episode of Season 1 of the Metallica Re-Remastered series. Today we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the third song off Metallica's first album, Kill 'Em All, Motorbreath. Written by James Hetfield only, Motorbreath is one of only two songs in Metallica's entire library to not feature a Lars Ulrich songwriting credit. James Allen Hetfield, born August 3rd, 1963, is one of the two co-founding members and co-songwriters of Metallica alongside Lars Ulrich. He is the rhythm guitar, lead vocals, primary lyricist, and one of the great metal frontmen of all time. It's also worth noting that on all the studio albums up to and including the Black Album, James Hetfield is all the rhythm guitar tracks on the album and a lot of the guitar harmonies that you hear. Kirk primarily did the solos and did a few interjections on the albums, but all that rhythm guitar and harmony guitar is James. From Load On, Kirk Hammett wrote and recorded his own rhythm guitar tracks and appears in the right channel with James in the left channel, the bass in the center channel, and the drums in stereo. And it is that way to this day. But for those first 5 studio albums, rhythm guitar left and right, harmony guitar left and right, all James Hetfield. And now, a brief moment of guitar-architecture. Motorbreath is a pretty straightforward song. Both rhythm guitar tracks pretty much play the same thing, and there's never a moment where the band stops or one guitar stops playing and the other guitar leads the charge. Clocking in at just over 3 minutes, Motorbreath is also Metallica's shortest song. And lastly, as I said, the song was credited to only James and not James and Lars, but it is believed that he co-wrote it with his friend Hugh Tanner from their days in James's first band, Leather Charm. Okay, and back into the library. 0103 is Motorbreath. So on the Hit the Lights video, I showed you what I did with Cliff's isolated bass track and how I split it into many pieces to make it fit alongside the remaster, and then I paired it with the original remaster and an enhanced bass version of that remaster. On the Four Horsemen video, I showed you the effects chains that I created. Basically, it's Kill Bass 1 and Kill Bass 2, 8 graphic equalizers to bring out the bass that's already on the album. But as I said before, from song to song, there were some inconsistencies. The rhythm guitar could have more or less bass. The bass itself could be louder or quieter. The drums and cymbals could be louder or quieter. But James even said the goal of Kill 'Em All in the studio was to capture, and that this album did very well. And with that said, I thought the bass was mixed at a pretty good volume on Motorbreath, so I have the enhanced track and the remaster track set at the same volume. And that will change from song to song for the ones that don't have an isolated bass track, but for this song, it's what needed to be done. And now a few seconds here and a few seconds there, scattered throughout the song to show you what the song sounds like with and without the enhanced bass track. Here we go. Let's play the enhanced track by itself. Let's play the remaster by itself. All together. Let's get that ending in there. All right. And now it's time for the in-album Lifeline segment brought to you by Fresh Produce. No, not the brand, the concept. Please eat your fruits and veggies. In this segment, I always ask the question, would I trade? If the song has an isolated bass track, would I trade it away for a song that doesn't? And if it doesn't have an isolated bass track, which song would I trade it for? In the case of Motorbreath, the bass can be heard pretty well without headphones, and in the case of Kill 'Em All, only 3 of the 10 songs have isolated bass tracks. Would I trade the isolated bass track of Hit the Lights with that epic soundcheck note that Cliff does in the beginning? I would not. Would I trade 2 live show staples, Whiplash and Seek and Destroy's isolated bass track, to get one for Motorbreath? I would not. So the verdict is, I would not trade to get an isolated bass track for Motorbreath. Episode 3, Motorbreath, is done. Motorbreath Re-Remastered is next, followed by Episode 4 for Jump in the Fire. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. This is the Metallica Re-Remastered series. Stay tuned for more. If you wish to support the series, please check out the link in the description down below. Thank you. Would I trade Hit the Lights isolated bass track to get one for Motorbreath? Not with that epic first stage check. You're an idiot.